Yo! What's up, dudes? Chooch, back with another video, and today I'm doing a 2,000 kilometer review on this Kingsong 16S right here. And this has become one of my most used wheels by far. I know y'all see a lot of the M Super and in my videos and stuff, but this is usually what I go to as my commuter tool going to college and just everyday use. Running to the coffee shop, grocery store, everything like that. And I want to show you, go ahead and show y'all on the app right here. I got 2,005 kilometers logged on it, and that's that. I haven't had this wheel for too long, actually. I'm not going to say months. I guess it would be about 3.5 if I did. I'm not really exactly sure, but I've been riding the shit out of this wheel, and it's been holding up perfect. And I got some notes in here I wanted to go over and talk about the differences in this wheel as opposed to some of like the 9-bots, the InMotions, and just talk about how I feel this wheel is a lot different than those units, you know what I mean, as opposed to the ACM right here too. And I want to show y'all exactly what I'm talking about in these differences. But right off the bat, I took some notes here so I don't sound like a complete idiot. And I just want to talk about some of the mileage, the specs of this thing, and just why it is such a great wheel for the price. And you can pick these up, one at a 16S, I think it's for around $1,300 on pretty much every site. And it's just a great price for what you get, man. It really is. So Kingsong 16S, my 2,000 kilometer review right here. My average mileage per charge on this unit, I get about 38 miles per charge. And that really has not fluctuated since I got it. I haven't noticed my battery levels decreasing at all, really. And I charge it every single night. So I'm not like, I get home and I just charge it, you know what I mean? I don't wait till the battery's gonna be completely low, because I don't want to be out stranded somewhere. So I don't baby it in that form. Like, I got a buddy, and he's religious about the boosted board thing. He'll run his battery all the way dead, make sure it's completely dead, so it gets the memory, and then charge it all the way back up so it maintains that memory. With these unicycles, you don't really have to do that. I've never done that, and this battery is maintained very well on this thing. So about 38 miles per charge is what I get. And so a lot of people ask, how different is the ride from the 9-bot and the ACM? And it's the best way I can explain it. I wrote it in here. There's a lot less back and forth play. Whenever you're going to accelerate on this thing, it drives, man. It goes straight into acceleration. There's no little bit of that wonkiness, man. Like, I got on my 9-bot the other day, and I feel that little bit of almost give in it that they think will help beginners out. When in reality, that little bit of play does not help beginners. It's almost like soft mode is always engaged on the 9-bot and the ACM. So I'm going to show y'all what I'm talking about, like on this thing. So as soon as you accelerate on the 16S, you can literally go. See, I just drive into it and it just accelerates. So you just literally it's like instant, you know what I mean? So like, this is easy on this. And there's absolutely no play in the wheel. Look at that. I'm going to show y'all what I'm talking about in the ACM now, whenever I'm doing the same thing. So, I'm gonna say loved the ACM when I got it, but now that I ride this 16S, man, this thing just, I don't like the way it feels. Y'all are gonna be able to see so easy. Like, watch, whenever you're accelerating, look at how it has that, like, almost a rocking motion in there. You see what I'm talking about? And like, so like, transferring back and forth, some people may like it, but I like that instant drive, you know what I mean? That perfect acceleration off the heels. So, and the tire's a little bit flat on this one, that's why I can ride it a little bit better. But see that back and forth play right there? See what I'm talking about? I don't like that. I don't like that on wheels, and the 9-bot does it a little bit, but the ACM version 1 really does it. And there's nothing wrong with it. And I mean, you can, like, I don't know, you can get used to it for sure, but I just love the instant gratification of power this thing gives you, man. Just boom, and it's just gone. You're just taking off. You just literally, you'll see, look at the difference, see? It just feels so much more refined too. Like, this feels like a $4,000 unit. That feels like a $500 unit. Just in quality. I don't know why. Just in quality. I don't understand it. But going over the other features I really love with this thing, I got some other stuff written down. One thing I really like off the bat, dudes, look at this. Somebody says, hey, don't ride that right there. You say, all right, no problem, man. Just walk along, like nothing even happened, you know what I mean? Just cruise right along. absolutely don't even skip a beat. You know what I mean? And like that'll keep you out of so many confrontations with this thing if you're going in riding it somewhere they don't want you to ride it or whatever. Just the ease of use, you know what I mean? You can fold this thing up, and how centered this handle is, man. It like the handle's in the perfect spot. You know what I mean? Like it's in the perfect spot. With the M Super, check out what you got to do. It's just awkward, man. They placed it in such a shitty position on this thing, honestly. So just strolling along on the M Super is always like, yo, don't ride that unicycle over here. And you're like, all right, man, all right. And you gotta like, this thing's like, it's not the most graceful thing to pull out. So you gotta like, all right, and then you gotta like push this like wonky thing. And this thing is like wonky, bro. Like having to like push this heavy thing in like the front, you know what I'm saying? So I just like the trolley design on the 16S a lot better than this. And like, I don't know, it's just the easy use on it for sure. It's just a lot better. But I love the M Super, but I bent that thing, man, crashing it. So that's kind of why it's harder to get out, but I just don't like the placement where it's all the weights, like you're driving it from the back. But going over here to this wheel, oh, and y'all probably are gonna ask why I have the duct tape on all my pads on these. The first day I got it, I covered my pads in duct tape on the 16S. Mainly so they won't get scuffed up, you know what I mean? So I keep my pads fresh over, and so as soon as I peel this duct tape off, it's gonna be completely like brand new under there, you know what I mean? And I suggest y'all do that, like especially if you're getting this wheel to learn on or something, just put pads all over it, and so you're not gonna mess it up, you know what I mean? So like, this wheel looks really good, I think, for 2,000 kilometers, it looks damn good for sure. And there's really there's no body damage on this thing at all, man. It's literally no cracks or anything like that. And I've let people ride it, man, like an idiot. I've let people just get on it and practice on it and stuff, and they dropped it hard, and that's not really done any damage to it. So it's a really durable wheel for sure. And let me see, where my damn notes. All right, so some other things in here. All right, and another thing about the trolley handle that's really cool, dude. So like if you have it in the mode on here to where it's auto, so you have the light flashes on the front of this thing and then it's in auto, and you go to turn it off and you turn your wheel back on, again, it's gonna have that mode on, you know what I mean? And I always keep this mode on. It's good to have even in the daytime. If you're riding around, it gets people's attention, you know what I mean? I like to have the light on there. But if you're going into like a dark, I guess like for me, like campus or something like that, and you gotta ride your wheel in there or something, and it's like they got all the lights out like a computer room or something, and you go in there with the strobe light, they're gonna think it's a daggum EDM dance party. So what I usually do, so I don't have to go in and fuss with the app, because the apps, you know what I mean, you gotta connect the Bluetooth, kind of wait on it to pop up. I just turn the wheel off, and this thing's so well centered on this thing, I'll just push it while it's off, you know what I mean? Just lean it back a little bit, and then you can literally just push this wheel with it off, with it just pushing the handle around, and it feels absolutely fine and comfortable, you know what I mean? You can do this all day. Just be careful with it, like, I mean, just know you're pushing the weight of this thing, so, but that's another cool thing you can do on this wheel. And it's just because of that strobe light, you know what I mean? You don't want to have to just open the app up and have to turn it off, and some people don't like the strobe light inside, which is understandable because it's very bright. And going on over another thing, let's check out pedal height on this. I've got a tape measure right here. Check out the pedal height on these bad boys. So on the 16S, I feel like the pedal height is a lot higher than the height of the ACM. I don't know why that is. I've never checked it in my life before, but we're about to find out. So I'm going to keep this thing as centered as I possibly can. Y'all can see it from the front right there. I'm going to measure right here exactly how high the pedal is. And let's see, I'm getting about 5 inches right there. About 5 inches. And let's check the ACM now. Power on the ACM. Keep it straight in the front right there, and we'll measure the pedals. So these pedals on this, on the ACM, guys, they're about 4.5 inches high. So you're getting, yeah, dudes, holy crap. I didn't even know that. Like that's substantial actually. So these pedals on the ACM are about 4.5 inches high, and the pedals on the King Song are about 5 inches high. About 5.25 inches high actually on the King Song. So that explains why I had so much pedal drag on this. You can see what I mean by pedal drag. You're going into corners and you just scrape like all get out. And I'll still scrape on my 16S, but on this one you're just really prone to scrape. You see all that scrape right there? So I don't know. That's one thing that's just kind of, a lot of people will never scrape pedals, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things that I like to do as like a stopping feature, and I just like it as like maneuverability, man, with really cranking that thing down and driving all around on it. So that's fun. And let's see, some other things in here I wanted to go over. The pads. All right, so on this thing, these pads are just absolutely like perfect on this. I don't know why, but they're great. They don't have tons of cushion on this, but they just feel natural. They got this kind of like rainbow curve kind of going on right here that these pads don't have. These are just straight on the M Super and on the ACM. That rainbow curve in these pads right there, that slight rainbow curve in there helps you drive up hills. So my shins rest on the top of that curve right there, and whenever I'm driving up a hill, it keeps my my calf muscles from burning. You know what I mean? So like these pads, the rainbow curve pads, it keeps your calf muscles from feeling that burn like you're running uphill, because you'll get that feeling on these things, and it'll give you a lot more control having these pads right there to rest this on going up. You know what I mean? Having that little bit of beef right here helps you drive in right here with your shins, which helps so much when going uphill, you know what I mean? So that's one thing that's really, the pads on this thing, they did a good job on those. And slim profile overall. So your profile on this, actually I wanted to measure it and see. So your profile side to side on this is, let's see, 7 inches. So from pad to pad, squeezing your knees in, 7 inches on each side right here. And on, let's see, on the M Super, this is of course going to be bigger because it has these massive battery packs on here. But it just gives you so much more control and crowds and tight spaces, everything like that, having a slimmer profile. Let's measure this bad boy. So this all the way across is 8.5 inches. So what did I say? That was 7. So it's almost another. You got another 1.5 inches, but like basically, and it's just, I don't know. It's not a bad thing necessarily, but it just, you get more control having your legs closer together on this side, on the King Song 16S for sure. And some other things to go over. Let's check this out. Alright, so all the screws in the King Song 16S, they all have metal contacts, like metal backing contacts. And what I mean by that is, most of you probably already know, but instead of just having like a sharp-ended screw that's just digging its way into plastic, these all have recessed, inset little screw housings, so there's actually that metal insert all throughout the shell. On every single bolt, every single screw in this thing, there's always a metal joining point. Unlike this, where every single screw ends up stripping out. I mean, they end up stripping out on this thing. So, like I have like 3 or 4 on here that have completely broken off because there's no metal contact point inside the old Gotway model. So that's one thing I like about that build construction. They definitely nailed it on this thing. And it's easy to find the PCBs for this thing. Like it's no problem. For other units it's also pretty easy, but every site I've checked, they all have the power control boards for the King Song 16S, and they all have hardware and they all have shelves too. So it's not hard to find any of the parts for these things. And like finding a part for a shelf for your M Super, just because so many people crash them, is, I mean, that's a challenge. So like whenever I could get my hands on one, I got one and just put it in the closet. You know what I mean? But you can always find them for your 16S. And let's see. Oh yeah, the pedals. Okay, so this is another thing on this thing. So see these pedals right here? How they have that strong retention on them, and I can't really push them down or anything. And this is good for traveling, dude. So you're throwing this in the back of your pickup truck, in the back of your car or whatever, and then you go to pull it out. I've scratched the back of my truck up a little bit from these other pedals that just kind of flop open, you know what I mean? And I'll pull it out and it'll scuff up that side a little bit. But this right here, I mean, it's going to stay up and you aren't going to get that scraping. But it does have a downfall. on both of these, on my ACM and my M Super, I can have the pedals all the way up, and I can just take my foot and I can just flip it down. You know what I mean? I'll show you exactly what I mean actually. I can just have these up and be ready to go, and then I don't have shoes on right now, but socks, but I just flip it down like that, you know what I'm saying? And be ready to go. So that's, and you can flip it up, but they just don't stay up as well because it's just magnets on it, you know what I mean? This is actually like a spring, but you can't get your foot in there and like flip it down as easy, you know what I mean? It's pretty hard. So you're gonna have to do like this and then push it down, you know what I mean? So you can, whenever you go to like put it up, if you're going to inside somewhere to eat or something real quick, just remember to leave it out a little bit like that, and then you can just flip it down easier, you know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing that I like and I don't like kind of on this thing. So okay, and another thing on this thing that's kind of amazing is the PCB. It's incredibly strong for what it is. I've landed some jumps on this thing that were just way off canty. So like I've landed with the wheel facing up like this, and it literally, I thought the thing was done. It rode down the sidewalk with me not on it, and it just rode like this, just leaning back, just cruising down the sidewalk, and I just ran up and caught it, and I thought the motherboard was fried in it, dude, because I landed with so much weight on the very back of this thing, like, and it's not good to do that. I mean, it would have been my fault, you know what I mean? But I just landed with all my weight on the very back, and it just cruised down the sidewalk like that, just going, and caught up to it, turned it off, turned it back on, and it was completely fine, no problem. And I've done some fried 2 motherboards on my 9-bot, and that was a 9-bot 1E+, and that was just jumping a curb and landing in the grass, you know what I mean? Something that this thing would never have a problem with, you know what I mean? This thing can do, you could jump curbs in the grass all day on this thing. You could like, the control board, they really designed it well on this thing because it can take a lot of torque, you know what I mean? If you're landing wrong, leaning back the wrong way or something like that, if you're a new rider just learning and your weight shift is all over the deadgum place, this control board will take it, man. I don't know what kind of mojo's in this thing, but I've landed some jumps that I was just like, dude, it has to be fried, and it was absolutely fine. So that's one thing I really also like about it. Also, a great overspeed warning on this thing, dude. So like on these machines, your overspeed warning consists of beeps. So you have like a series of beeps on the Galway models, and that's great if you're an experienced rider and you can listen for those beeps and judge it really well, and just you hear those beeps, you got to back off. You know what I mean? You got that third beep, you really got to back off. But on this one, it'll literally yell at you, which is the coolest thing. It sounds stupid in some features, but it'll go, please decelerate, and then it'll give you a small little kickback like that, and it'll slow you down a little bit just so you don't go over speed on this thing. So you know what I mean? Like I've never had a shut off on this thing. Never ever had a shut off, and it's really hard to make it shut off. It really has to be hauling to shut off. You know what I mean? And it gives you that warning. And it even kicks it back a little bit to slow you down. And that kickback is not going to be something that knocks you off the machine or messes with your riding or anything like that. It's actually something very smart to have in these things, so that it slows you down instead of letting you go full send like 34 miles an hour into a cutoff. You know what I mean? So I like the way that it goes, please decelerate, and then it goes and you slow it down a little bit. So I like that. It's pretty cool. And why I ride it as a commuter wheel, it's just lightweight, it's nimble, it has the high pedals on it, and has no annoying like the hum sound, like just because this thing's so powerful, because like the ACM's powerful, the M Super's a powerful wheel. Not saying this isn't a powerful wheel, but they just hum. They have like, listen, you can hear it right now. You hear it? And like if you go in somewhere that's quiet, dude, I've had people get annoyed by this, and like I'm used to it, and y'all are probably used to it as well, but that just hum right there, some people don't like. And this thing has absolutely no hum to it at all. Like it literally, you can't even hear it. It's like a Prius or something. Like, I mean, it's like there's no hum at all, absolutely nothing. So that's one thing I really like about it as well. Steering, alright, so steering on this thing is just so easy, and like just grabbing it and going by the door, like literally I have this thing on charge by the door, go boom, just pop that down, and I'm off to go, you know what I mean? I'm sailing smooth and ready to roll. And then just like with the M Super, man, every time I go out, like I just wear like a bicycle helmet on this one. With the M Super, bro, I gear up, dude. I'm in full on motorcycle helmet. I'm in knee pads, gloves, and soon to get wrist braces as well. Just because this thing's no joke, dude. If y'all want something to go fast, if y'all want a machine that just flat out lays it down, go with the M Super X or the M Super V3S. I'm not bashing these wheels. I absolutely love it, dude. But like for just a daily commuter wheel, it's a little bit much, I'm telling y'all. And you know, I never thought it'd be possible, and I never thought I'd be saying it, but like, just for going 3 or 4 miles, man, this is just a little bit too much, man. And you gotta like, I mean, it's easy to ride. It's just as easy to ride as the 16S, but just going 3 or 4 miles is just honestly kind of overkill. You know what I mean? So that's why I usually rock the King Song to go to class and go to get some food and coffee and whatnot. But this is just, I mean, if you're going on a full-on group ride or something, and you're actually going to lay down some bike trails or something, go with this. You know what I mean? But if you're city commuting, going around corners, people, 3 or 4 miles each day, I'd say the 16S. But if you're trying to lay down a commute to work 15, 20 miles, definitely go with this. Definitely go with this for sure. I mean, you can hop on a bike trail with the M Super V3S and just pin it, dude, and before you know it, you're 15 miles down the way. You know what I mean? Like the M Super's, it's a beast in its own for sure. But it's just the ease of use for every day. And people just getting in the wheels, the 16S is just, I mean, it's absolutely go with the 16S, you know what I mean? But if you want something just to rip it, go with the M Super, man. Go with the M Super. So, dudes, this is my full review of the King Song 16S after 2,000 kilometers of riding this bad boy. And I cannot say enough good things about this wheel. I know y'all probably heard me say it in other videos, but I really like this wheel, and I really suggest it for any of y'all upgrade from like a 9x1, or if y'all are getting into the hobby just now, y'all absolutely will love this wheel. And I had the 9x1 and a smaller 14-inch wheel that are over by the door over there. But if I would have started on this, man, I would have learned so much quicker. I would have gotten better at all the tricks faster, and my confidence in it would have been better. Like this is absolutely the best wheel I can recommend for anybody to start on or upgrade from like a 9x1 or InMotion V8 or whatever you're coming from. But you can't go wrong with this wheel. It's great. I ride it literally every single day. It goes with me everywhere. Put it in the back of my truck. I explore national parks with it. I explore everywhere with it. Literally just places that like you would never be able to go, like trails that you would never even think to want to go walk down. You'll have this at your ready, and you'll go explore and get outside and do so much more. Honestly, I'd rather have a unicycle than my cell phone. And saying that in today's age is crazy. But just having these things right here are like incredible tools. Once you get your hands on one of these things and you're able to go explore the world on one, you won't know what life is like without it, honestly. You will use these things so much more than you ever would expect. You'll love them. But anyways, dudes, 16S, King Song 16S, after 2,000 kilometers, absolutely no problems. The only problem was me jumping it and having to replace a tube in the tire, which ain't no problem. It's a simple fix right there. And I put a new Kenda tube in there, man. That bad boy purrs. So it's a great wheel, dudes. If y'all are looking at a wheel to grab, 16S all day, baby. Hey, if y'all enjoyed that video, throw it a thumbs up. If y'all want to pick up one of these King Song 16 unicycles, link's gonna be up in the description. I highly recommend it. Honestly, dudes, it's literally probably the best wheel you can get for any of y'all wanting to get into the hobby for sure. If I would have gotten this wheel whenever I first got into it, like I said, I'd have started and learned so much quicker. You know what I mean? They refined everything in this. Honestly, perfect wheel. So, if y'all enjoyed the video, throw it a thumbs up, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good one now.